We know there are these peculiar faculties of the psyche, that it isn't entirely confined to space and time. You can have dreams or visions of the future. You can see round corners and such things. Only ignorance deny these facts here. It's quite evident that they do exist and have existed always.
Hello and welcome to the Self-Consciousness Podcast. I am your host, intuitive consultant, Jennifer Way. How has your summer been? Not too hot or anything, right? Well, get ready for a special episode. I am back from summer break-ish. Mom camp has been fun this summer. It's like, no, it hasn't. I love my kids. Anyway, lots of feelings of extremes, lots of intensity. So for today's episode, I wanted to focus on things you can do. Now, I know you love my rambling, and I do too, but what can we do about shit? So welcome to a new and improved self-consciousness podcast where you not only get the experience of my ADD-infused creations, but finally, tips you can actually use. So welcome back to you. Hello, beautiful babies. Even if you're not a baby. Hello. So I recently left Instagram. Finally. I've been complaining about it for so long. I had left Facebook a couple of years before this one. Yeah, I left it a little while back. So I don't know what celebrities or influencers are doing. I don't know what they're wearing. I don't know what they're eating. So now I have to fill my day with other things, other kinds of slow pleasures. I'm a person that doesn't eat fruit, but I am now exploring a newfound love of fruit. So that's really exciting. And I am spending a lot of time watching my cats play, getting outside with my kids every day. That's been the best. But I definitely feel like I have disappeared from the radar. You know, I try to remind myself that years ago, no one ever expected to talk to some people who were in their lives again. Like school or that internship or that weird summer job that you had. Like we went through stages of our lives and we had circles or social circles that, you know, we would fade away from. We would never see these people again. And the culture has changed so completely where not only do we see them again, we know way too much about them. We know way more than we ever wanted to know. So I don't know. I think that social media connects all stages that maybe didn't need to be connected. And now I feel very much disconnected. While I was on social media, I really started to feel like my connections had corroded. And I was going around to basically anyone who would listen. I don't know if anyone listened, though. Basically saying that social networks are not social. They're a marketplace disguised as a human need to connect, right? I felt that this need was hijacked and corroded and corrupted. And I felt myself being reprogrammed by what friendship or socializing actually was. And I didn't like it. I felt my brain rewire to automatically think of cute or funny post ideas when I was out in the world enjoying my life. It would interrupt my thoughts. So as a manifesting generator, I allowed this experience to run through my system and it just fucking malfunctioned. In this experience, I drilled down into part of the fear of leaving social media, right? Because it's all shadow work. It's all really reconnecting with ourselves. For me, it was the idea of letting myself not belong, letting myself not be liked or paid attention to. Oof. really digging down on a deep one there. And I always got the sense in my life that I was designed to not belong, like everything about me. And yet I embodied into a life where I got the message that safety came from people pleasing. So now it's about reconciling what I want and need now in terms of relationships. I had to get to the unpleasant truth, to the bottom, to the undercarriage of my self-esteem. So I dig into the stuff. And the answers that I got, or still getting, are that the ways forward are so incredibly simple. It's mostly perspective shifts, right? How do I reconcile this fear of not being seen, not being liked, not being heard? How do I allow myself to move through that? But basically my discomfort while on those apps had to become reason enough. My mind tried to play ping pong with this. What is wrong with me that I cannot figure this out? Grr, it's the media's fault. But what it came down to is that, now I want to sing an Alanis Morissette song. I hadn't been listening to my own discomfort. I'd been numbing it or disregarding it. I haven't really even been registering it. Or I wasn't moved enough to try to address the thing that was making me uncomfortable. I only criticized myself for having an inconsistent style, right? Which honestly, fuck it. I'm not moody, I'm cyclical, right? Fuck it. It all comes down to self-love, right? When I'm on those apps, I'm looking for engagement. But the engagement I was getting was not on the level that I wanted it. It wasn't the level that I needed it. So, do we pause and give ourselves a sec enough of the time? Do we feel our feelings? And if we don't, why? These are hard questions to ask oneself. And this might be a part of your personal spiritual journey. It's the part that holds us and keeps us coming back to the work. It's the work that allows us to throw our inner selves a life preserver, that takes us out of negative self-talk. We all know that voice. It might be punitive. It might be nasty, it might be insulting or mean. Whatever it is, it takes us down and it keeps us there. Now, the work in conscious spirituality is to evolve while holding the expanded perspective and also the denser, limited 3D one. Let me say that one more time. The work in conscious spirituality is to evolve while holding both the expanded perspective and also the denser, limited, third-dimensional one. Training your mind, training your thoughts to come back down to your heart, to love. But it has to start with you. You know how people, I don't know if you're single or not, but you know how people always say you won't find love until you love yourself? I fucking hated that. Well, it's not true. Of course you're capable of being loved without loving yourself. But you will not know how to receive it, really. And it will have been a falser version of yourself that engaged in the relationship anyway. Which, as you know, doesn't evolve very well when we construct ourselves with such a heavy hand. So it's just about deciding to keep loving yourself. Even when you find yourself turned around and confused, or even just in despair. Sometimes the words self-love don't even really resonate. And that's why my 3 tools for self-love are really just about making it a lot simpler and not like hippy-dippy, peace, love, happiness, blah, blah, blah. So, my 3 tools for self-love. Number 1, cut yourself some slack. We are so conditioned to push or to punish ourselves. Grit. Rrr. You didn't embody into this lifetime, into a body which is the result of billions of years of evolution, to talk shit to yourself. If you too are the Muhammad Ali of beating yourself up, consider not. Catch the loop as it starts. Relax yourself. And then give yourself a deep, a deep injection of pure divine love. Stop beating yourself up. Number 2, start understanding the brilliant mechanical and energetic complexity and wonder that you are, your mind, your soul, and body. It's really important to fucking understand this. 2A is find imagery or representation of your body's energetic processing that makes sense to you. For example, the meridians in Chinese medicine, the artwork of Alex Gray, human design maps. But find something that for you really makes it understandable. Because whatever you're referencing actually does exist in an energetic form. And once you start beginning to familiarize yourself with that imagery regularly, it will have an impact on how you treat yourself. 2B, respect the meat suit, the machinery. It's your temple. And your ancestors might be yelling at you if you're not treating it right. And they're unhealed because no one should be yelling anymore. So fuck that. But still, treat it right. Number 3, find your permission slips and use them to your advantage. If you've ever had difficulty with feeling like you're not supposed to or shouldn't be doing something, then permission slips are for you, okay? And guess what? You can give as many to yourself as you need, as long as you check your alignment regularly. You are allowed. You won't get in trouble. It's not cheating. It's understanding how you work, while also being aware that it's a crutch, right? So when I say find your permission slip, we are all familiar with the language of like old core belief systems that no longer serve you. We're all familiar with that language, hopefully by now. This is just another way of saying these are belief systems that you might hold in your body that are really hard for you to let go, but your permission slip is to sort of identify that belief and work around it, almost like you're telling yourself a lie, to work around it, to work around this belief that you have that something is wrong or should be different. And you know that it's not a rational belief, but you have to find a way to work with it, right? So permission slips really are about allowing yourself the permission to hold that truth, even if it's a truth that you don't like. It's all okay. So again, you might need a crutch. As long as you're aware that it's a crutch, it's probably fine. And by the way, people need crutches because shit is broken or unwalkable. So why do we shit on that? So these are 3 simple tools that you can try today. Try whichever speaks to you the most. If you have been mean to yourself, then all you need to do is get unmean. It's that simple. It's a practice, but it's also a commitment to yourself to keep coming back to center, to keep coming back to love, choosing to love yourself in all those moments, choosing to know you're the shit and never having to explain it to anyone. Self-love is crucial if we are to survive. If we are to understand how important it is to connect with ourselves and connect with the earth. Loving yourself well opens you up to loving all that is. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you'd like to get a little deeper, book a complimentary call with me to connect and discuss your current energetic state, where you seek any more alignment, and maybe what a deeper understanding of yourself might feel like. Let's talk. Head over to jenniferway.com and book. That information will be down in the show notes. And you thought this was going to be about masturbation and dildos. Well, here you go. Here's something saucy for you, especially if you speak French. Have a great week.